Hi everyone, today I'm talking about a brand new IPO that came out just yesterday and is listed on the ASX. So this is Camplify, which is currently listed with the ticker code CHL. So now I'm going to be reading off my phone a little bit. I don't want to be cutting all over the place, so I hope that doesn't bother you. Let me know if it's a better idea to just cut it. So, Camplify is a peer-to-peer lending company and community for sharing campervans, motorhomes and caravans. So this is, from what I can see, one of the newer and larger companies within this niche in the market with a peer-to-peer lending sort of business model. They're currently the largest and fastest growing sharing economy company within this niche, and on the 20th of June, which is yesterday, they had their initial public offering like I stated. So I'm going to talk today about the details first of all, and then I'm going to give a little bit of my opinion on the company as well, what I think about it and what I personally like and dislike about it. So to start off, their motorhome and campervan sharing is based and focused mostly in Australia and the UK market. Their business model, like I stated, is sort of a peer-to-peer lending sharing economy business, which I personally do like, and I'm going to talk why I like it later and what their disadvantages are as well. There is both positives and negatives to this business model. So now something actually very interesting I found is that Mr. Hales, which is the chief executive of the company, came up with the idea when he was jokingly saying to his wife that he wishes he could just rent one of his neighbor's caravans which was in their driveway because they weren't being used and they were literally just sitting in the driveway. So I find that quite interesting that that's how he came up with the idea. It was just one of those moments that he was saying, I wish I could do this as a joke, but he really could. So for anyone that doesn't know, a sharing economy business model is when a company has an employee that produces products or services that then they sell. Now, or in similar terms, this is really just peer-to-peer lending. Example of this is Uber, Airbnb and Fiverr, just to name a few. And the most common way a business will generate a profit with this business model is by usually having a fee, which can be either as a flat fee or a certain percentage or cut of the profits. And from what I understand, Camplify uses an approach where the customers will pay Camplify by starting with a 25% deposit. That's to secure the booking for the motorhome, caravan, campervan. And then once upon the completion of the hire, if everything went smoothly, everything was okay and there's nothing wrong with the rental, then Camplify would deposit the remaining amount into the owner's bank account within 7 days. And now Camplify listed having raised $11.5 million and reported their IPO as over 4 times oversubscribed with customers invited to purchase shares. They're also currently backed by an ASX listed caravan specialist being Apollo Tourism and Leisure, which invested back in 2017 with a 17.8% stake today. Camplify's revenues are expected to rise and grow from $2.9 million in 2019 to 2020 to $6.7 million in 2020 to 2021. A lot of this is from different areas and reasons, but primarily this is because there's been a huge rise in domestic tourism. We can't travel around the world anymore due to COVID and the pandemic, but a lot of people do want to be traveling just around their particular state or from state to state inside one country. But despite the rise in revenues, it's important to know that the company is actually making losses projected to be around $2.9 million on earnings before interest and tax, which is an increased loss from $2.4 million the year earlier. So that is something pretty important to keep in mind, but do understand this is a small company. It's quite common to see smaller companies not turning a full profit. And then about the stock price, once launched, the share price rose from $1.42 to $1.50, but then it shortly declined, now at around $1.40 a share. At the issued share price of $1.42 on the 28th of June upon launch, the market capitalization would be $58 million. So now simply I just want to talk about what I think about the company. Do I think the losses are a big deal? Not really. I think it's still a small company and I do understand that they have losses for a reason. A lot of companies do in their first few years of business. I believe this came out in 2014. That was the launch of Camplify. Their business model I do love. Like I stated, I think this peer-to-peer lending sharing economy is a great business model. There's lower overheads. There's huge scalability potential. They can go global. They can have so much scalability. They could have every person renting a caravan one day, we really don't know how far this can go. They could eventually branch off into other areas of business, but then there's also the other factor that it's quite easy to copy and replicate. And especially if there was a larger sort of company within this industry, they could quite easily launch their own platform to do the exact same thing. It's nothing that is exactly a product that can't be done elsewhere. For now, at least, it is good to see that this is actually the largest company within its niche, and I couldn't find much competition whatsoever doing this same thing. So for now, they should be okay. Now that doesn't mean down the track we won't see any companies like Uber doing the same thing, or some of the car rental online companies doing the exact same thing, or implementing it into their business. Now I haven't invested into Camplify, I haven't invested in an IPO before, and I don't think that it's easy enough for me to be investing and judging right now, but this is a company that does interest me and I definitely do want to keep my eye on. I think it's very interesting, I think there's a lot of potential, and I do all in all like it, but I would like to wait and see what's going to happen. I think right now, all in all, the market has a lot of uncertainty, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't be investing, of course. It could be a great opportunity to pick up budget prices, discounted prices within the market, all in all, because some things are currently below their value. Now, with that being said, I'm not a financial advisor at all. Don't take any of this as financial advice, and instead just take it as a teenager's thoughts and opinions, because that's exactly what it is. Feel free to research yourself, but always do your own research before making any financial decisions. I hope you enjoyed watching. Subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this, and like that video to support the channel. Thank you all, and I'll see you in the next one.